So, you want to get a job at KFC. You're 14. Well, who knows, you might be 42. Let me tell you what happens at KFC. Now, me, personally, I've been working there for 2 years. Yep, so I've been working there for 2 years, since I was 14. And yeah, I got to know the ins and outs of the business. Now, there are a few upsides and a few downsides. Like, if you're going to work there and you want money, you're going to work a lot. Okay, but today, I'm going to tell you things like wage, for what I know, at least my age, and what ages I've been. I'm going to tell you how things work, what the shifts are like, what the environment's like, because I've worked at 2 different KFCs, so I got that experience. Anyway, yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing you might be wondering, what's the process of hiring? Well, the process of hiring is actually quite simple. You do an application online, and because it's KFC, it's not too formal. You do an application, you put in all your details. If you're a resume, if you have one, you don't actually need one. And you do a little survey thing, and then it gets sent off to the KFC, and they choose whether or not they want to give you an interview. And then you go to the interview stage, which is really easy. They give you a few questions like, why should we pick you for the job? And why do you think you'd be best suited for this job? If you just give them an answer that they'll be satisfied with, you're going to get the job. And if they do reject you, you can always reapply again and again. And if you do that, they're going to get annoyed and end up hiring you. So that's kind of the hiring process. And it's not too difficult to get a job there, surprisingly enough. The next bit you may be wondering is, what happens after I'm hired? Well, you see, it's a bit of a long process. What happens is, you get hired, you wait for a few weeks, then you'll get an email from KFC. And what that email says, it gives you a login and a whole bunch of stuff to do and a website link. And what you do, you click on that website and it brings you there, and it's training modules. I know. Shocker. You don't get paid for doing it either. In my case, it took me about 3 hours to do, because I just knocked it all out in one go. But it's training modules. And what you do, you got to do that. Then once you finish them, after how many hours? It might take you 45 minutes. It wasn't too long. I just drew it out because I'm not that smart. And you do that, then you send an email to KFC, and there you go. You're going to start your shift soon. I know, crazy. Now, you've gotten the job at KFC, and you got your first shift coming up. You might not have your uniform yet. What happens then? Well, what happens is, they'll call you up maybe a week, a day, or not at all, before your shift to come get your uniform. In my experience, it was the day before, because I am large and the shipment didn't come in until very close to the day. Some of the times you can just get changed at the KFC in the bathrooms. Like, you'll get your uniform and you'll just get changed in the bathrooms, then you'll do your shift. So that's how the uniform process works. Now, probably the biggest thing that people ask me or are thinking when they want to get a job or their first job, how much do I get paid an hour? Now, yeah, you really want to know, don't you? Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. There's a few different things that happen. There's things like overtime. Well, yeah, overtime, but we don't really call it that. There's time and a half, and there's double rates, depending on when you're working, how long you're working. When you are 14 and you get hired, I believe now you're on $11.18 an hour. When I started, it was $10.71, and I think it might be a bit higher. Then when you turn 15, you don't get a pay rise, and that sucked because I was so sad. And then when you turn 16, you're on $13.75, which is what I'm on now, and it's bad. But yeah, it's not too bad. When I worked at my previous KFC, I would work 3 or 4 times a week, from 4:30 to 11 to 12 o'clock at night. This is not normal shifts. I was really good at my job. And I would work that, and I'd be getting maybe $600 a fortnight on 10 something an hour. So you can make bank if you want to. Now, the dark side of KFC. The actual work. I know, who would have thought? You have to work. Well, not really. Working at KFC it's a child's job. I mean, what you do, taking orders, a lot of people are scared to take orders at first. It's really not that hard. It's a really easy system. On the first page, it literally says most things. It says promotions, and then like what people mostly order. Then there's all these different sections which go into the nitty gritty bits, but it's really easy. The headsets, they're also really easy. Like, you might be overwhelmed with everything, but trust me, you're gonna get it in like half an hour. Then what you do, you take an order, you give them their drinks, depending on what kind of KFC you're at, and then you pack the food. And really, everything is so simple. Everything should have a minimum of 4 things in the box. For example, a Zinger box, wicked wings, potato and gravy, chips, and the burger. See, 3-piece box, your 3 pieces chicken, dinner roll, chips, and potato and gravy. Easy. So, it's really not that hard. Now the fun bit, working with people. I know. You know how I said it was a children's job? Yeah. You mess around the whole time. And depending which KFC you're at, whether it's a busy one or a quiet one. The first one I worked at was generally busy, but funny enough, we messed around a lot more there. When it was quiet times, when we were like packing up the shop, we would like throw stuff around, throw stuff at each other, spray each other with spray bottles, and just like have a goof around. And the managers were really cool. Like, the managers at all KFCs I've worked at, they're really cool because they're around kids all the time, so like kind of have to be. So yeah, it's pretty fun working there, and I'd say it's definitely worth it if it's your first job or if it's like your 5th job. It's definitely worth it to work at KFC because you get great experience, you get great pay for the time that you do, and then you just get to have fun while on the job. So all around, it's a good place to work if you need some extra cash. Now, I'm going to give you an overall average of like, say you only want to work a 3-hour shift a week. At KFC, we get paid fortnightly. And so if you want to work a 3-hour shift a week, say a Friday night 3-hour shift, 5 to 8, because 5 to 8, or a 3-hour shift is the minimum shift you can do. So you want to do a 5 to 8. You'll get in there, you'll goof around for a bit, pack some orders, then you'll clock out, and you'll still be getting minimum $65 a fortnight. Like, an extra $65 to mess around for 3 hours a week. And if you want to take it further, say you work 2 5-hour shifts a week, that's $200 a fortnight. I like at minimum, it's usually going to be like $220 to $250, depending on if there's a public holiday. Oh my gosh, if there's a public holiday, you're gonna beg to work. Like, you have to beg to work because it's double rates. Like, oh my gosh, I once worked a 5-hour shift and then they asked me to stay back till 8. You best believe I was on that. That was 8 hours of double pay. I got 175, I think it was 175 something for that one shift. Whew, that was, that's like 2 or 3 games I can buy. It's bank. So you're going to want to beg to work those public holidays. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to get a job at KFC, just do it. Like, if it's your first job and you're scared, just do it. It's going to be great experience. It's going to be great to put on a resume. So all in all, please work at KFC because it's cool. It's cool to work at KFC. I'm not even lying right now. Anyway, thanks. Please consider subscribing, and please consider checking out my Patreon if you have an extra $1 or $2. Anyway, thank you guys. Bye.